everybody. Sean here from Somm Wine Club, and I have got Somm wine for you. This is the 2022 César Márquez Vino de Villa Valtuille de Abajo. This is a Mencía-based blend from Bierzo in the northwest corner of Castilla y León in northwest Spain. So when I say Vino de Villa, that is a village wine. That's a classification within Bierzo for wines from one specific village. In this case, that village is Valtuille de Abajo, labeled on the front just as Valtuille. And in Bierzo, which I think is maybe one of the most unique and interesting up-and-coming fine wine regions in Spain, this village is the top. It's the top village within the region, and I'll explain to you why that is. The last census data that I could find said there were 80 residents or so in Valtuille de Abajo. There are 11 wineries that have their headquarters in this village. So within this village, there is a winery basically for every 7 people that live there. One of the most important families in this area is César's family. He has 9 generations of family roots in Valtuille, including his uncle Raúl Pérez, who is not just in Spain, but globally, one of the most influential winemakers of the 21st century. And Raúl has mentored César, has worked with him for years. After leaving the village to go and do winemaking studies in Valencia, César came back to the village to work with his uncle, spent 7 years working with him at their family winery, which is Castro Venosa, and then with him while he opened La Vizcaina, his independent project. And then in 2015, César started his own project, which is this one. So this is his own label under his own name. In 2017, he also took over winemaking duties at the family winery of Castro Venosa, just kind of doing both of those projects at the same time. So he's focusing on small parcels of land, old vines of Mencía and Godeo that are trying to showcase these individual paraje or small plots of land and the unique characters that they each have. These are coming from parcels in and around Valtuille, and let me tell you, you have not had Mencía or Bierzo like this. If you have had it before, he's taken a little bit of a step away from his uncle's style. It is a little bit more light-handed, elegant, where Raúl's wines tend to be quite dense and structured. And I like both styles, but they're definitely he's making his own mark, and I really like that about these wines. So they make about 3,000 bottles of the Valtuille every vintage, and it's mostly Mencía. Mostly about 80-year-old Mencía vines, but there is a little bit of Alicante Pusquet and other white varieties and old vine heritage varieties that are kind of planted in a field blend in the village and in the vineyards that he's using to source the wine. Foot trodden, everything farmed organically. So once they get the wines into the winery, hand harvested, like I said, foot trotting just to kind of macerate the juice, and then fermented in large oak casks before being transferred to smaller, neutral, older oak barrels for aging for about 11 months. So we're not getting new influence of oak here. This is all old oak, and picking at a time when the grapes are still acidic and tart and crunchy, and that's really reflected on the nose and the character of this wine. There's tons of this kind of tangy, crunchy, tart red fruit. It's raspberry, red cherry, cranberry. There is, and a lot of people, including myself, will kind of compare Mencía as a grape variety to Beaujolais in some styles, or Cabernet Franc, because it has this slightly green herbal note to it, which is really nice and adds some kind of balance to the fruit and the crunchiness of the nose. But yeah, you get this kind of grassy green herbal note to it, and then a lot of kind of bare, dirty soil, rocks, dust, that kind of earthy component that you really only get when you have these like elegant, high-toned, red-fruited wines. that acidity just pops. It's super elegant, refined, really, really refreshing, but it has this kind of deep intensity and richness to it, which is kind of, I guess, belied by that freshness and that acidity. So you like, it has power, but it is really, really well balanced and elegantly displayed. The tannins are super silky, almost powdery tannins, really, really fine, but present, and give this wine a ton of structure. It kind of like goes back and forth between like tannins grip and then acid washes away, and they just go back and forth and back and forth. And I'm going back to the wine because, like I said, I just really, really love this style, this very drinkable uh, but powerful wine. This is not, I would say, a style of wine that you just want to like pop open for movie night. This is definitely a wine that wants food. That acidity, that tannic structure, that crunch is really better, and it's going to show better if you kind of pair it with some food. You can go super classic Galician or like northwestern Spain with things like pulpo gallego, which is like a tomato and garlicky octopus dish. This has the elegance to handle that kind of food, or very classic in the region, lots of cured meat, pork, beef, salt, and kind of that briny cured meat. But this also has the potential to work with all kinds of other international dishes, whether that's braises or roast meats, roast vegetables. This has a very, very wide array of possibilities, from lamb to pork to chicken to, really, I may struggle to think of something that I don't want to eat, just because, like I said, it is so food friendly. But I think the most important thing is that you do eat. Um, not to say that this isn't delicious, and I'm very much enjoying just sipping on it right now. But now I'm getting hungry. Just just by the fact that the wine is in my mouth, it's making me hungry. I am very sorry if this is your first Bierzo, if this is the first time you've ever had Mencía, because I may have ruined most other Mencía for you, because this is just so, so good. If not, and you're still new to the category, then by all means, this is a fantastic example that really shows the potential of this region and these grape varieties. Um, and if you are an old hat with Bierzo, then I hope I'm showing you something new with this César Márquez. A fantastic producer that I'm really excited to be able to share with everybody. I'm super glad is available here in BC. And keep in mind, there's only 3,000 bottles produced, so the fact that we even have it here is pretty impressive. So thank you, and enjoy. I hope that everybody enjoys the beer, though, from César Márquez, and we'll see you guys for the next video. Cheers.